I'm
Thanks,
gonna mute
everyone.
myself. I'm gonna mute myself because let them talk.
Yeah, all
Okay.
good, all good. So, welcome everyone to our masterclass session today. It's in the context of our Trust and Pay hackathon. The virtual phase is ongoing, and this is one of our learning sessions, masterclasses for our participants to get prepared in the best possible way. So we have today a LUMA masterclass. So LUMA is a framework, a design thinking framework, design thinking system that you will learn about. And we have the um, highly appreciated support from Luma and Mural for that. And Caroline is here. She will guide us through the session. And with my help, I will support her. And if you have any questions, so it will be a very interactive session. So we will do a process, we do a task together on the mural board. So we prepared a challenge for you, and we will collaborate together to already showcase how we can best possibly work in the hackathon, because we will also use some of these frameworks for the hackathon. And so we record the session so that everyone can also watch it afterwards and get prepared. So thank you for joining, everyone. And I would like to hand it over to Caroline.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. It is a pleasure to be here with you all. Some familiar faces from our mural session yesterday as well. I'm going to begin by sharing my screen. You don't need the link right now, so I will hold off on giving you the mural link. But I'll share my screen. I'm going to just walk you through some of our content around Luma, Luma and AI, and how we're going to be working today. So, first of all, when we think about kind of a world that exists as it does today, where we have AI and humans, the perspective of Mural and Luma is that everything around us, products, processes, policies, and services, they're all designed. And sometimes it can be designed well and sometimes not so well, but design is everywhere. So, one thing we believe deeply is that designing is not only for designers, but we are all by nature designers. And I say that because anytime we observe a current situation, imagine it being better than it is, or laying out steps to go from a current state to a desired future state, we're always practicing design. So, with that, Mural acquired Luma a few years ago, and Mural provides a wonderful collaborative place to do this kind of work. Luma, however, is one of the ways that we can provide a structured, intentional way to kind of guide the conversations humans need to have to get those better outcomes and to design better things. Um, when we think about the Luma system, they're organized in ways that they kind of sit within these three verticals. So no matter what your job is, your project, these types of things might seem familiar. So the first vertical that we have is looking. It's the yellow section that you'll see to the right, to the left-hand side. And when we think about looking, it's about gathering information and observing how things are. So sometimes you come in completely new and you need to explore and kind of fill in those knowledge gaps. Other times you have an early draft or prototype and you might seek feedback, which would be participatory research. And finally, you might refine a nearly finished product through evaluative research, something like a think aloud test. Then we move to the green section, which is understanding, and it's about making sense of the information that you've gathered, finding patterns and priorities, and mapping relationships between people, processes, or experiences. But most importantly, it's about clearly framing the problem before worrying about solving it the right way. The last section then, our blue section, is making. Making is all about acting on your insights. So this could mean creating a draft document, designing an artifact, or developing a product. It's about moving those insights into something that's actually tangible. So those are our three verticals. But what you'll see is that just below that, we have our A. So we've now spelled out Luma. And A in Luma stands for aligning. The reason we have this section for aligning is that we notice that when teams rush too quickly into execution without ensuring alignment, then confusion sets in. So people don't speak up when they don't understand. We might use lots of acronyms and jargon, and it creates these silent barriers. Misalignment can grow, and we talk about that as adding alignment tax. It can cause friction and it can cause costly mistakes later on in the process. So by using LUMA methods throughout any sort of process, you kind of bring everybody with you. So they're coming along in the journey. It encourages questions, welcoming pushback, and builds that shared understanding. And the reason we say that is because none of us are as smart as all of us. So hopefully that resonates with you as well. When we think about the LUMA system, then the LUMA system is built using methods. So let me take you to this part of our screen. These methods are being chosen for multiple different reasons. So there's 36 altogether. If I take, for example, ethnographic research, the top yellow on the left-hand side, we're thinking about method being structured. So the likes of an interview, guiding a conversation and capturing stories and specifics. Another one that we have here, the second one in, is fly on the wall. That's all about quietly watching people in their natural environment. Because the point is, what people say and what people do can be very different things. And multiple methods give you multiple lenses. So these 36 were selected because they are easy to learn, so you can adapt them to your own work. They're easy to teach, so there's no single kind of expert bottleneck. So the team can just pick them up really quickly. They're human-centered, so they focus on people in every equation, and they are also proven to work. We will always deliver results. However, I want to call out, LUMA's methods are not the only ones in the world. I encourage you to be curious, but this particular set are kind of curated in all of those 4 criteria. We've already started today's conversation before we started recording around AI and the influence AI has on the world. So I want to just quickly share the role of AI from a Mural and LUMA standpoint. So AI is absolutely powerful, and we fully believe that. As we've talked about, we believe that everything is designed, sometimes intentionally, sometimes by circumstance, and sometimes by convenience. But where does AI actually fit in, and what role should it play in human-centered design? When we think about the advantages, it can remove burdensome tasks, it can help surface patterns, it can speed up processes without reducing alignment. It can offer fresh perspectives that counteract those team biases. I know we've had a participant on the call already share information about creating personas using AI. So all of those kind of good elements help you then to get those fresh perspectives. But it should work transparently, so there should be no kind of black box results as such. But AI can also collapse curiosity if we're not careful. So getting quick answers can feel good in the short term, but they may lead to poorly understood problems and flawed solutions. When it comes to humans then, we believe that humans should lead on human tasks. Humans excel at creating psychologically safe spaces, at building trust, facilitating culture, encouraging reserve team members to share ideas. And these human elements are essential to achieving the best outcomes. AI should complete the process of that. It's around complementing and not replacing them. So we're working hand in hand. So with that, I'm very excited today to be able to share what we are going to be up to. Today we're going to get to practice some of our LUMA methods. When we combine methods together, we get what we call a LUMA recipe. So we're going to take a little look in our understanding space today in rose, thorn, bud and affinity clustering. I want to call out here, there's a link for LUMA Workplace where we have a free trial. It'll take you to a site that looks similar to this. So feel free to delve into that. Anyone that was on the Mural Masterclass yesterday, you will already know some of these tips and tricks, but I've added them in again in case you would like to see them. And I've also added in a link here, which opens out to the Mural AI part of the website that goes over all of the benefits of using AI within Mural. So I wanted to call that out as well. I'm gonna just stop sharing for a second, check in with everybody. How are we doing? Any questions or comments so far? Okay. With that, I'm gonna give you the board link. So it's gonna come into the chat. Not, oh, look at
Already
that.
prepared it.
She's just a wonderful human being. I love this. So once I start to see you jumping into the board, I will bring you to me. I'll also keep sharing my screen just for the interest of the recording as well.
Fantastic. And I also want to welcome everyone who joined after I did the welcome. Fantastic that you're all here. It will be very interactive now.
Absolutely. We love to get hands-on, and that's why we love using Mural because it enables that. So let's take a little look. Let's see how many people we've got here. So we have a few people coming in. I'll give it another minute or two to enable that. People getting in. I know it can take a little bit depending on your internet connection. While we do that, Sabrina, would you like to introduce kind of today's scenario that we're going to be working on?
Yes, sure. I will just summon us.
Perfect.
So, yeah, first of all, I would like to quickly share that we really appreciate your interaction. So it's okay if you have a camera off. If you want to have camera on, it's nicer to connect, but it's also okay. Just what's really important that you take action. So we will do really some work together where we collaborate together. So just wanted to highlight that. So we will have a challenge, which is the following. So everyone here in this group here, we are together working for a Saudi digital bank. So many people are opening an account digitally for the first time. And we see already with gathering the data that many users start onboarding, but not so many really finish the onboarding process. So some might feel unsure, some might feel rushed, some just stop. So our team here, we need to understand what's really going on. So we want to understand that and where things are breaking. So our challenge is, and this is something that we prepared here, how might we make opening a bank account in our bank feel like being welcomed, not examined? And your team, our team here, we imagine that we just talked to different users of the Saudi digital bank. And now we are imagining that we talk to them, and now each of us is representing one of these user perspectives. I want to just share that here. So please share, just take the perspective that feel closest to you today. There's no right or wrong. Every role is important. So just imagine you talked in, let's say, because we said we need to understand more about our users. We talked to either students, business, mid-career people, or retired customers. And for the students, we want to help you with a quote. So the student might think, this is my first bank account. So they are used to digital tools, but they need guidance in this new financial world. So the business mid-career, we quoted like, I want this done fast and correctly. So they value efficiency, they hate repetition, they have a low patience. And the retired customer, they want to feel safe. I want to feel safe and not confused. So they are more careful, slower, and high trust sensitivity. So they want to trust the process. So you can choose who are you talking to, and you need to just think now from the perspective, you have talked to them. Now you can imagine what they would have told you. And how we imagine you, and Caroline will in a moment give you more insights to that, just to give you an idea how we are thinking about giving these insights, how you share them with the Rowthorne Butts methodology. Caroline will share that. We have already pre-populated an example, so a demo that you understand. So, for example, a positive feedback would be you talk to the student. They say, oh, cool, there's an app to get my bank account. So they really like it. But then they say, what if I'm doing it wrong? So they have some doubts. And they are thinking about what if there would be someone I could talk to. So this is how you can imagine having this conversation with them. And this is what they would tell you. So I hope that's clear. If there are any questions, maybe I just stop for a moment and we look around. Are there any questions? Please let us know either in the chat or open your mic. Maybe you can just give a thumb up if you understood the challenge and your role that you can take.
I have a question.
Please, Ahmed.
Okay, so this one is like giving a scenarios of each customer, or have have information behind it.
So it's so we are here in this group online here. We are a team of this bank, and now we have the task get some conversations. We need to understand what is happening here. What kind of problems do the users have?
It's like brainstorming.
Yes. Yeah, it's more a research. So we talk to people, we understand, oh, they like some stuff around this, but also they have some struggles. Now you just need to think from their perspective. Just think what a student would struggle with in this, or what they like and what they don't like. Or if you want, you can also take the perspective of a business mid-career person, and you can think about that. So what would they like? What would they struggle with? Or a retired.
Basically, you research every segment of your customer.
Yeah, but you just take one role. You just take one of them.
I would say a founder who is looking for a bank that help him to grow his business.
Okay, fine enough. Fine, that's good. So this is your perspective, and you just so Caroline will explain how this process works, but this is how you then will have your perspective.
Okay, that's great.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions before we get going? Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring you to me on the board, and you'll see that each of you has a space. All you've got to do is add your name to the top of the space so that you can claim it as yours. I'm going to zoom in on the first space here just to set the scene. So the activity we're going to do is called Rose, Thorn and Bud, and you will see the stickies on the left hand side include the key. So if you have something that you want to capture that's positive, we're going to put that on a pink sticky. If you have something that's negative, that's going to go in the blue stickies, and anything that is promising, if there's an opportunity, I want to see that on the green stickies. However, I want to call out a few things. We are speaking as if we are that kind of persona that you've chosen. We are not looking for solutions. Okay, so it's not this person feels this way, therefore they should get this. It's this person feels this way, full stop. Okay, the other thing that I want you to do is use clear, concise, and complete sentences. If we're going to use AI later, we need to be very conscious of the type and quality of data that we are entering into an AI facility. So when you are creating your data on these sticky notes, I want to see full sentences. I don't need a paragraph, just a full, complete sentence. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Wonderful. So grab yourself a space. And I'm going to set the timer. I'm going to give 5 minutes for people to come up with their content. I'll stop sharing the screen just while people are populating the information, and I'll reshare it afterwards. So I'm going to stop sharing now. and I'll pop the timer on for a couple of minutes. If you have any questions along the way, please continue to ask them in the chat, come off mute. But we want to start seeing you populating your content from the perspective of either a student, a business person in their mid-career, a retired customer, or like Ahmed, choose a persona that resonates with you.
And I will share some music with you. Sec.
We have about 2.5 minutes left, so if you haven't started capturing your ideas, I encourage you to start now.
Is everyone on the board? Anyone struggling with accessing the board? Please let me know.
Great to see some of your ideas coming through here. So we have another minute to try and get as much content on the board as possible. Okay, I think we've got enough for us to get started on our next method. What I want to call out is firstly, thank you for adding complete sentences. That's always really helpful. In the world of AI, we sometimes forget that the data has to come from somewhere. And when we're working with humans, most of the time the data entry comes from other humans. And we want to make sure that we are being true to the sentiment that's being put across and true to the words that are actually spoken by that person. We hold a kind of massive privilege being able to capture other people's stories. So when you're in the real world, make sure that you're doing that on behalf of the person's data that you're putting in. Ensure that it is clear, concise, complete. And if it's factual data, make sure that it is correct as well. So thank you for that. What I'm going to get you to do now is I want you to click off all of those sticky notes because I need to move them for our next activity. And if you're clicking on them, that means I can't click on them. So I'm going to share my screen again while you all take your hands off your cursors. I see still a few cursors over some. You'll notice this because they are kind of grayed out for me. They have like a cover over the top of them. So I'll start to pull across some of the data sets
Caroline,
first.
maybe I can help with that. I just refreshed the board and now they are
Wonderful.
not
There we
taken.
go.
It happened to
Love that
me
tip.
right now.
Love that tip. So with that, I will then start to copy this across. The reason I'm copying them rather than moving them is because if at any point you need to go back to look at where things were captured, it means that you still have that and you're not having to kind of forget what's or make up the elements that maybe you had missed. So I'm going to just bring across everybody's data sets here. Perfect. It looks like Sabrina's doing that behind, which is wonderful. So while that is happening, I want to introduce the next method in this recipe. So like I say, when we combine one method with another, that's when we get a recipe. So anything more than two methods is a recipe. When it comes to affinity clustering is really, really good at helping to find themes and patterns in the work that you have done. So we love this little pair of rose thorn bud and affinity clustering. So I want to make sure that we get all of the content brought across. So I think we have got most of this. Let me just copy this across.
I can help with it.
I love the enthusiasm of our participants. This is great to see.
Now this is duplicated. Okay.
Perfect. There's a few more. Wonderful. And I think, did we get these ones? Let's bring those across as well. So what you'll see is I have removed any of the empty stickies so that the only thing that we're left with is the data that's completed here. If we were doing this with kind of all the time in the world, what I would encourage you to do is bring all of your sticky notes together. And in Mural, you can arrange them in a grid. That helps to kind of tidy them up a little bit so that they're all nice and concise. It also takes away the element of ownership because when we cluster together, it means that we have the opportunity to share why we have added this content, but also makes it a collective element so that it's not these are Caroline's ideas, therefore Caroline has to know the answer. It's these are our collective ideas. How do we move with those together? So that's what I love about affinity clustering. It's about not just working as individuals in our kind of silent individual work, but now starting to bring together other elements. If we were doing this, like I say, with all the time in the world, what we would encourage you to do is take a sticky note, any sticky note, rose, thorn, bud, doesn't matter, and you would bring it into the middle of the space and we would read it out. The top tip that Ryan shared with you yesterday, which is if you hold X and hover over it, it means that your sticky note stands out. So great tip from Ryan there. So for example, I don't always find the app easy to follow.
Mhm.
So what we would do is each and every one of us would take a look through the rest of our data set and say, huh, is there anything similar to that? Can anyone find anything similar to I don't always find the app easy to follow in that data set? If you find it, I want you to bring it across and put it beside the blue one I've pulled.
I'm not sure what you mean by not easy to find.
Yeah, great question. And this is what I love about this particular method is that this allows us the opportunity to have that conversation. So does anyone remember who added in the content around don't always find the app easy to follow? Anyone remember adding that in? It sounds from my perspective, it sounds like potentially it's a navigation issue that maybe they struggle to be able to move about the app. If anybody else wants to clarify that, they're very welcome to. I see there's a few others that have added, so the app isn't compatible with all of our devices. Can I request more support? So it sounds like this is a kind of navigation and technical issue. Does that help, Ahmed?
Yes, I see what you mean now. When you put it in this context, yeah, yeah, and that's makes sense now. If there is like one of these big bank or corporate, and they have tons of features,
Hmm.
you lost inside. You don't know how you get what you want because of all these tabs and
Yeah.
everything.
And
Yeah,
what you'll
makes sense.
you'll notice here is that what you'll see happening is, I have an easy access to my bank account. That is a rose, and everything else in this group so far are buds and thorns. When we cluster, we are not clustering by rose, thorn, or bud, positive, negative, or opportunity. We are clustering by theme. Okay, so your clusters shouldn't all be blue or shouldn't all be green. And that's what we want to see here is we want to start seeing the patterns and trends that come out of that. And so we could take our time, go through every one of those stickies, have the opportunity to clarify them, which is a great bonus of working with humans and having that human element. Or what we can do is we can actually cluster these using AI. Can anyone think of pros and cons of using AI versus us doing this manually here?
So using AI make it too fast, but you lost in the middle if you are not the one who did it.
Exactly. Yeah. So,
Mm.
yes, it could absolutely speed up efficiency. You might get clusters much more quickly. But to your point, you don't have the opportunity to clarify. And if we as humans need to clarify, it's quite likely that AI isn't going to pick up the context of what it is that sticky note says. So there's pros and cons to using AI in this kind of scenario versus doing it by kind of manual organization. So once we would get a group or a cluster, what we would do is we would simply add a title that would give us a brief overview of what this cluster means. What did we learn? So like I say, if we sat and did all of this, we would end up with little clusters that look something like this, like cluster one insight. I can't spell, but we'll just deal with that. So I want to now show you, and I'm going to move these over here, what might happen if we use AI. So I'm going to take the rest of our data set, and the AI feature is up in the top right hand corner. It's called Mural AI. It may be turned on for some of you, it may not. Sometimes it depends on your account settings. But when you come in, if you have your stickies highlighted, you can press cluster by topic. And by selecting cluster by topic, you'll see it's starting to process the information, and it has grouped them. We have, what, 7 different groups here. And you can accept or discard this, or you can work with the AI feature so that you can think about trying fewer clusters, maybe you want more clusters. But the thing that I want to call out here, which is really, really great about Mural AI, is it says, remember to review them for accuracy and quality. Because AI, if you're going to use an output from AI, it's not going to be held accountable for your work. You will be held accountable. So that's what I love about the AI side of what Mural provides, is that it reminds you to be human, which is really, really lovely. So let's say, for example, we accept these clusters. We'll say thank you to Mural AI. And you'll see now we have these 7 clusters. We have banking features, we have student banking, we have information on the user experience, the financial management, customer relationships, business support, and we have a big group called Other. And what you'll notice again is that if we were then going to have these conversations, there's 1 or 2 here that are just 1 or 2 words. We don't know what that means. There's not enough context. So AI has had to make a decision based on that 1 word in your sticky note. Let's take, for example, banking features. I'm going to just move this over here so we can look at it. We currently have a 1 or 2 word title, but it doesn't actually tell me what was learned. I know it's something to do with banking features. I hope that the stickies in it are correct and in the right place, but also I don't know what you've learned. So here I can save my contact details, so that's great. A bank account makes it simple to receive allowances, scholarships, or part-time job payments. Many student accounts offer 0 monthly fees, minimum balances. It's great to have the ability to freeze my cards from within the app. I don't have to go into the branch to do banking activities anymore. And I can access my account easier than ever. It's always in my pocket. So we know that it's about banking features, but it's not telling us what we actually learned. So what we can do is, using Mural AI again, is we can then ask the AI and say, and I like to be pleasant, so I always say please. Please, could you come up with a key insight about these sticky notes? Let's see what it comes back with. Oh, there we go. There's interesting feedback coming back saying it doesn't have permission to perform this action. That's a very interesting situation. And again, doing these things in the moment help you to understand the powers of AI. Whenever they work, it's great. But if we only ever rely on AI, then when we kind of face issues, then where do we go next? What we do is we go back to doing it manually. And it's a really great opportunity for us to say, okay, well, what did we learn? So actually, it's not just banking features. Does it feel fair? Is it fair? I can't speak today. Is it fair for me to say that students love the personable approach to banking? How does that sound? Does that feel like that's what we've learned?
Personal and more easy, an easier
Oh,
approach.
yeah. Personable and easy approach to banking. Does that feel like a key insight? Do we feel like we've learned something there?
And it gives them, yeah, I think there's more to it because there are actually 2 different insights. One is how they handle it, and the other thing is what allows them. So when they have this bank account, what they are enabled to do, like they get easier allowances, scholarships, and yeah, and the student accounts offer. Okay, this is again something, it's more about the model, which kind of account they have. But it gives them, I think this wouldn't fit here. Maybe it would fit somewhere else, or we add another insight to it, and also allows them to get access to other resources, financial resources.
Let's pause there, Sabrina. Do you feel that all of these stickies fit in this cluster, or are there two separate clusters that need to be made here?
I would make different. So I think I wouldn't have
Show me.
that.
Let's use Mural. Jump in. Show me how you would do it.
Yeah, I would pull that out, and I would look if there is somewhere else. I always like the colored, so that maybe I would look specifically if there is something, something that would fit here, or if there's anything, if this one has maybe another home somewhere else.
Absolutely. And that's what we want to encourage with affinity clustering is that things aren't set in their clusters until everybody is, guess what the last A is? Aligned. Okay. So it's fluid. They can move about. We're leaning into those moments for us to express ourselves, to say, you know what? AI created that cluster. It did a good first job, but actually, I think there's more editing that we need to do. And that's what we love about this combination of AI and humans is that we can allow for these moments, that it's a great starting point, but how do we build from there to be true to the content that we've added?
I found one. Maybe this is a good example from the others. There's one: maintaining an account can help establish a relationship with a bank for further loans or credit cards. I think this is something with the bank account, I am enabled to do something. So like getting a loan or getting access to scholarships.
With a bank account, people are enabled to do great things. Does that sound fair?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Fabulous. Okay, so in the interest of time today, we're not going to go through and massage each one of those clusters, but I want to talk about, well, what would we do next? If we had now, let's say, 8 clusters, how would we go from having 8 clusters down to maybe choosing one that we want to go for? And there's multiple different ways that we can do that. One of the ways that you can do that is with the use of a vote. And there's a wonderful tool in Mural for voting, which some of you may have seen yesterday, where you can start a voting session and you can vote on those clusters. That will be for you and your team, like I say, to narrow down from 8 clusters down to 1 or 2 that you want to move forward with. So once you then decide on this is the kind of idea or the thought that we want to build on, that's when we can think about, okay, what are our next steps? So what we've done is we have gone from going very broad, exploring the space, to now starting to converge into, are we solving the right problem? And that's really, really important and really, really powerful. So I want to pause. I'm going to stop sharing the screen. Are there any questions so far?
Just share the link again in the chat because I think we have new visitors. So everyone who didn't see the link before, you can just click on the link and then you enter as a visitor. You don't have to create an account or so, just enter.
So once you decide on that kind of one direction, where's your North Star for the work that you're doing, that's when we can start to ideate and visualize where you're going with this concept. And we're not going to do this activity, but I just want to call it out as an extra step and a very useful step. It's another method that lives in the LUMA system. It sits in the making space and it is called a concept poster. So I'll share my screen. Concept posters are really, really great, like I say, at illustrating the main points of a new idea. For anyone that is watching this later on, all of the information on concept posters are along the side for you to review in your own time. And the template also has great step-by-step examples along the bottom, including a link to a completed concept poster as well. So super helpful if you want to use this during your hackathon. This is where we start to go from here's a sticky to here's a full-blown concept, and we're so excited to share it with you. The template shows things like your concept name and your tagline. I encourage you to hold off on doing those until the very end. We could spend 4 hours trying to come up with a name, but not have any content in the middle. And that's not where we sell, okay? We want to sell from the content in the middle. It's where we start to think about who is it for, what problem does it solve, and what's the big idea? And once we've captured that, then we get into the space of being able to visualize it. So you might use something like a storyboard in this section, or simply like thumbnail sketching where we can use icons and draw a few bits and pieces. Really starting to express how does this concept come to life? Thinking about why might it fail? What can we prototype and test? And how might we measure success? Because we know those are so valuable when we're moving from this one idea into trying to get buy-in from others. So as an example, this is one that has been completed. This one was around a global engagement for a local initiative. So what you can see is it has been visualized here in the middle. And we can see what's the big idea. So inspiring teenagers to contribute positively to their communities. It's something that we can share with stakeholders to get their buy-in. So now, again, we have gone from generating lots of input with our rose thorn bud, narrowing the scope with affinity clustering and a visualize the vote. And then we're going wide again when it comes to actually, is this the idea to follow? Is there kind of substance here for us to move forward with this idea? So I hope over the course of the hackathon, you'll be able to deep dive into some of these methods and really start to kind of empower yourselves to tell the story of the great ideas that you're coming up with. I want to pause there. Sabrina, anything you would like to add before we can open up for questions and support for the hackathon?
Sure. So I would like to just share quickly what would have happened in between the affinity clustering and the concept poster, because we have here now an idea. So just imagine there are 2-3 steps in between. And so you would have understand the problem of the students or of the business people. And you came up with an idea just as an example. Your team aligned on the idea. We create an AI avatar that helps with the onboarding process. And in case there are more questions, the AI avatar helps to connect to a real human. Just imagine this would be the idea that our team would have aligned on. And this is only one sentence. So the description can be interpreted in many different ways. So the concept poster gives us a fantastic way with a team in a very short amount of time. And I really want everyone in the hackathon exploring that. It gives us the opportunity in a short amount of time to go from this idea, rough idea, to a poster, a concept that is shown in this poster that can easily be understood by everyone, that aligns the team, but can also shared with, for example, the mentors, and they can give you feedback, or some experts, and they can give you very quick feedback because they see it's very structured and it's not just a process, but it also tells who it's for, what problem is solved, etc. So it has enough meat in this concept to get a quick feedback and critique. So this is why this is super powerful, especially when the time is tight. Any questions to that? Yeah. Pause for a moment.
Something to add. I see this tool is powerful not only for business, it's also for education. Means I can see a lot of business use in this one, especially in classrooms and in research. Uh, and it's good for online collaborating. I can see that because sticky note is used to be like we used to do it manually if we have a workshop or something, and then we cluster it with the same idea. Um, did you guys test this in education environment or just business?
Yes, in different scenarios. Anyone wants to speak to that? Because I know, yeah, Owen, maybe you want to
So
speak to
I
that.
suppose in the education environment, Sabrina, we're currently working with a school in Dubai. So primary school in Dubai would be one of the first ones that we've done with LUMA, and hoping to roll it out to kind of a wider kind of educational audience as well with LUMA. And then with Mural, we've many customers in the education space.
Okay, nice. Because this tool is really valuable in the beginning of any project. But I'm wondering how it's going to be valuable while your project mature. If I know if you are pivoting, then it will be reused again. But through the life cycle of the project, how this can be valuable? Because all the presentation I saw, it's only in the beginning, you brainstorming, you do research, you set your goal. After that, is there's like a roadmap or project management in it that will help you through the project?
Wonderful question. Let's build on that. One of the features that we have within Mural is we have our templates feature at the top. So let's say you were looking for a roadmap. You can simply type in, look, I haven't even got further than road, and I've already got product roadmap, 1 year roadmap, resilient product roadmap. So you can use Mural to provide you with templates for that as well. The other thing that you'll find is if you scroll down, you have all the templates for the LUMA system. So all of those 36 methods that we've talked about are all in this space as well. Something like experience diagramming is great for that end-to-end process of a product. What I encourage you to do if you're in that space is, yes, you can go from A to B, but once you put something out into the world, maybe you need to evaluate it to make sure it's doing the right thing. So that puts you back into that iterative loop of being able to continue on the journey with the product, service, or experience that you're working with. And all of that is available to you within Mural, as well as within Luma Workplace that we've called out. I wanted to as well just show you, I behind the scenes have clustered all of the stickies just by using AI, and pulled out those different the different cluster topics. So like I say, you might take this, you might add to it, and you might choose one of those for you to then build on. But to Ahmed, you might say, oh, well, I've completed that task. Well, you might go back to this affinity cluster and say, hey, I want to tackle another opportunity that was highlighted in our affinity cluster. And so we go again and we repeat the process. And that's how we can continue to build on it. That just because we've identified one issue and tried to build on that doesn't mean there's not plenty of other information that we gathered at the very beginning of our session as well that allows us to keep building. Does that help?
Yes, thank you very much. One more thing. I'm wondering if we can connect this to other tools. I'm gonna use like Excel, for example, but if we can connect to other tools that's sometimes if you have a project, you have document everywhere.
Well, that is a wonderful question again. I love this that you're coming up with so many great questions. I want to highlight, and I'll share the link in the chat and I'll pop it on the board as well. We have Mural integrations, and I will add the link for it in this space as well. So all of the integrations that are available to you are highlighted on that particular website. So the two that I have called out for you to avail of in the future are the integrations, which you've just asked about, but also all of the AI features that are available to you. We have things like using AI for translation. We have using AI for sentiment analysis. So there's loads of opportunity for integrations and for the use of AI. Does that help?
Great. Thank you. I'm sorry I'm asking so many questions,
I
but
love it. I love it.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. And maybe if I can quickly touch upon LUMA Workplace, this is something that you will get access to. Maybe I don't have it open right now. Have you it? Do you have it open, Caroline, and can quickly share how it looks like?
I do. Let me get it. Just gonna re-sign back in.
Yeah, because I also need to sign back in.
Okay, don't worry. So there we go. Where can I show you around?
Yeah, maybe just to show the methods, the overview about the methods. I just want to share with you, Ahmed, that this set of tools, set of methods enables you in every step of the process, in whatever step you are with your project or education, to get support. So you can always search there for situation or recipes where you are in, and this will help you after a first, let's say, briefing, and we can talk about that also when we are in the hackathon, to what extent you would need support. But this is to give you at the hand, and that will help you throughout the whole process, not only for the start, but also when you are in the middle of a project or when you are in the middle of education. And that helps the schools also throughout their whole life cycle. So you can always, in whatever situation, you will find a suitable method that will help you just to align with the team, to get forward, to make decisions, to get more insights, to understand patterns, etc. So I hope that helps, and I'm happy to share more when we meet in Riyadh.
sure. Thank you.
Wonderful. Well, with that, any final questions before we close out for the day?
I think that was also a set of fantastic questions.
Yeah, I loved it.
From my side, I learned a lot. It was so helpful. The basics yesterday, it was also I learned some points that I didn't see before and I not tested, but to learn how to use it and what brings in the combination with AI and the human thoughts, that was super interesting. Thank you. I learned a lot.
So very welcome. I'm glad it was informative. So
Yeah, and also last time in the hackathon, we didn't use these kind of methodologies, no design thinking or LUMA. We used Mural, but this time I really want to put that in, not through the whole process, but that teams will get support, little check-ins, for example, also the poster, etc. So there will be, let's say, a roadmap throughout these 3 days that will be supported by the LUMA method as well, so that teams can just pick it up and have quick interactions and just align quickly, make decisions quickly, see how far they come and share it with others and just move on very effectively.
One point on that, the poster, it's the basic from the pitch deck. So when you can fill the poster and it makes sense, then you also can produce your pitch deck that you will present. So that's super nice to work on this poster.
Actually, I was thinking about that as our prerequisite to get the let's say the application, the check for our pitching day, and then they can just move it if they want to take slides or if they want to keep it on Mural. I will share also how they can do it, because you can also make a presentation on Mural. So whatever they want to choose, they will get the support.
Wonderful. Well, thank you all so much. We appreciate you showing up today. And we look forward to hearing from Sabrina how it all goes for you. But thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.